everyone. Welcome to the Kentucky Reptile Zoo for those that are here. And hello to everyone in the phone on Facebook watching live. My name is Hannah. I'm an intern here at the Kentucky Reptile Zoo. And for Snake Week this week, I have decided to talk about Kingsnake Ecology. So let me introduce King George to you guys. I'll bring him close to the camera so you can see him as well. He's a really chill guy. He likes to just hang out on people's hands like this. Really sweet boy. King George is a speckled king snake. Their scientific name is Lampropeltis holbrooki. These guys are endemic to the United States, and they live in a wide variety of habitats. So they are found in grasslands, prairies, and woodland areas. They're even found in the suburbs as well. So the purpose of my talk today is to give you guys some information about Kingsnake ecology. But first, that begs the question, what is ecology? So, ecology is the way organisms interact with their environment, both the abiotic and biotic factors of their environment, meaning the non-living and living factors. So, how do amphibians interact with arthropods? How do reptiles interact with birds? And we can even look into how the soil interacts with fungi and plant species. So there are a few facets to ecology to understand. I have them listed right over here. So the first and smallest one is organism. At this level, we are looking specifically at a single individual and how it interacts with its environment. And then our next one, we have population. This is a group of a specific species, how they interact with each other, how they interact with their environment. And then next up, we have community. Community is essentially how different populations are interacting with each other. So different species are interacting with each other, how they are interacting with their environment as well. And then we have the ecosystem. So the ecosystem kind of comprises literally every single thing. You guys wanted to go around that way. So the ecosystem is basically all the other things that I have mentioned: organism, community, population. We're looking at how all of those things are interacting, and how they are interacting with their abiotic factors as well. So how are they interacting with the soil? How are they interacting with water? Things like that. And our next one is the biosphere. And this is literally the entire Earth. So how are different ecosystems interacting with each other? How is this happening? So is the health of one ecosystem detriment to the health of another? Or are the ecosystems helping? So I'll lift this up so you guys can see. So within ecology, there is something called a trophic pyramid. A trophic pyramid, or an energy pyramid, basically comprises, it essentially shows the way energy flows through trophic level to trophic level. Since there's nobody here, I'll talk to the camera. So this is so what is a trophic level? A trophic level is essentially showing what level a species is in the food chain. So are you a producer? Meaning, are you a plant? Are you giving energy to other animals? Are you a primary consumer? So this consists of herbivores, stuff like that are eating plants. Are you a secondary consumer? So are you feeding on primary consumers? Are you feeding on herbivores? And then we have tertiary consumers as well. Typically, tertiary consumers are at the top of the food chain. This means they are eating most of the things that you guys are seeing, except for producers. That doesn't typically happen. So talking a little bit about king snakes as well. King snakes are a part of both the tertiary and secondary parts of the trophic pyramid. So they eat prey and predator species. However, they are not immune to predation. They can be predated by really, really large carnivorous mammals, so coyotes, raccoons, stuff like that. And then big birds of prey as well, so eagles, ospreys, stuff like that. And so, I forgot where I was. So, a little bit about king snakes and their ecology. So, these guys eat literally everything. That's why they're called king snakes. So, they have the usual snake diet. King snakes have the usual snake diet. So they will eat birds, they will eat other reptiles, so they will eat lizards, frogs are amphibians, they'll eat frogs, salamanders, stuff like that. And then they will also eat eggs of all kinds. They will eat bird eggs, reptile eggs, amphibian eggs, all of this. But what is really interesting about king snakes, probably the coolest part, is that they eat other snakes. And they also eat venomous snakes as well. So we have another king snake right here. This is Oliver. He is our king cobra. He also eats snakes, so he is another type of king snake. King George will eat snakes as well. Something very interesting about king snakes is that they eat venomous snakes. So, how can something eat venomous snakes without being envenomated? Good question. So in venomous snakes, particularly in vipers, which consist of rattlesnakes, cottonmouths, copperheads, they have a set of enzymes called snake venom metalloendopeptidase. This is the really, really big word. Say that 5 times fast. For the sake of brevity, I'm going to shorten it to SMVP. So snakes, king snakes, and other animals that might be resistant to venom, because in order to ingest venomous snakes, you have to be resistant to venom. So these guys have something called SMVP inhibitors. Basically, what these inhibitors do is they block the active site of these metalloendopeptidases, or they prevent the SMVPs from attaching to the target protein in the animal that they are envenomating. So these guys, without these inhibitors, would not be able to ingest venomous snakes, or any like poisonous venomous animal. And this trait didn't just show up out of nowhere. This trait evolved over a long, long, long period of time. So they didn't wake up one day and be like, okay, I can eat venomous snakes now. That's not how that worked. So in order to do this, they adapted to their environment, they adapted to their surroundings, the things that they eat. And this leads to a very important concept in ecology called coevolution. This is when 2 species are evolving alongside each other. Oftentimes it's called an evolutionary arms race. So these guys are resistant to venom. That leads to the question, what are the venomous snakes going to do? Are they going to have to up the ante a little bit, make their venom a bit more deadly? So far I haven't, when I did my research, I didn't find any information about that, but I would love to figure out if they're doing anything different, so they can eat more things, and because that's how venomous snakes get their prey. But yeah, so that is called coevolution. That is a really, really interesting topic. If you guys are interested, I definitely recommend looking it up. So yeah, this white speckle sizes, but generally the majority of them are immune to venom, immune/resistant to venom. But yeah, and then I did have one source that is where I got this really, really huge word right here, and so always cite your sources, everyone. But yeah, I'll give you guys a little bit of information about King George. So like I said, these guys are native to the United States. They're found in a wide variety of habitats, so they're found all across the United States, from southern Illinois all the way down to Louisiana. Like I was saying, they have the usual snake diet, so they'll eat rabbits, rodents, they'll eat birds, and then they will also eat venomous snakes, like I said, and other snakes as well, other non-venomous animals. And king snakes are also really, really good for the environment because they help control populations, like all animals do. So rodents that might overgraze on really important grasses and grains, they feed on those. And sometimes rodents might be a problem for you in your home. So that's why these guys, snakes in particular actually, just in general, are very important for controlling rodent populations. And same thing for venomous snakes, with king snakes specifically. If you have a guy that's really, really big and powerful in an ecosystem, and he eats everything, there's nothing left for the little guys. Nothing left for these guys. So in controlling the venomous snake population with this venom resistance that they have, they serve a very important role in their ecosystems, no matter where they are. But yeah, so some more fun facts about King George, because there's no one here, it's just the camera. So these guys, fun fact, they have a mating display between 2 males. So if King George was in the wild, it is likely that he would do such a thing. So they have like these dominant dispute dances, and this helps them win a mate. It's very common in the animal kingdom for the males in a specific. They're very elusive species. It is very hard to find these guys. Like a lot of snakes, they are very shy. But typically you're not going to see these guys in the wild very often. If you do, it might really only be a flash of them. But yeah.
Do they lay eggs?
Do these guys lay eggs? They do. They do. So they are ovoparous. Snakes have different ways of laying eggs, producing. There's oviparous, meaning that they lay eggs, viviparous, meaning that they give birth to live babies, and then ovoviviparous, meaning that there is an egg sac inside of them. However, it will dissolve, and then they will give birth to live young. So that is entirely possible. But these guys mainly are oviparous, so they will lay eggs. So, yeah.
What's he doing with his tongue there?
So what he is doing with his tongue, he is sensing odor particles in the air. So this is what all snakes do in order to find something yummy to eat, to sense their surroundings. So what he's doing, he is just trying to check everything out with his tongue. It's a huge sensory organ, and what he is doing, he is just sniffing everything around, trying to see what's going on. But yeah, that's what they do. That's what they do with their forked tongue. And it is forked to sense in different directions, so they can tell where they're going, they can find prey, and they can also sense for predators as well, in case they need to hide. But yeah. Well, I think that was really it I had for International Snake Week. Thank you guys for tuning in, for those that did tune in. I really appreciate being the one to do it on International Snake Day, so that's really cool. I hope you guys enjoyed my presentation on Kingsnake Ecology. Tomorrow, one of our other interns, Charlotte, will be doing her presentation on it's the fear of snakes. The word is really, really hard to pronounce, but she will get it to a T. I promise you. I just cannot. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. I really appreciate it, and happy International Snake Week.